Firstly, this week I'd like to thank everyone that subscribed to me on my YouTube channel. It's been really good. I've finally reached 1,000 subscribers, which felt like a long time to get there, but I'm very much appreciative for you guys subscribing. This week we're going to keep going forward. I've got the injectors back from the injector cleaning. We've got the battery saga is still a present problem that I've got, but I've found a way around that. The blow-off valve seems to, which is this valve here, run straight into my battery, which it never used to do until I fitted the ZX10 rear suspension. I had to raise the whole battery case area up, so now I've got a clearance issue, but I've found another battery that'll do the trick. It will all fit back on. Also, I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to pull the radiator back out, DevCon the holes up that are in the radiator, and sand that back so it doesn't leak as soon as I put water and pressure straight into it. But anyway, let's get into it and see what we can do. We'll start with the injectors. I've just had the fuel injectors serviced by Bunbury Fuel Injection and Turbocharging Services. They have done a great job. They've cleaned them, flushed them. The flow ratings are the same on all the injectors. This is the old injector that I used to run. You can see it's far larger than what I'm running at the moment. I had to go from these big daggy ones to the small compact units so that I could fit the fuel tank over the fuel rail. Basically what was happening was the aluminium tank that I now run is completely different underneath compared to the steel original tank, so we had to make a few drastic changes to fit it all in. I'll put these fuel injectors now into the throttle bodies, and then we'll put the fuel rail on. So what we did, we fitted the Ducati injectors into the throttle bodies, bunged off either end of the custom fuel rail, so that's all ready and sealed off now. The throttle cable was also fitted. That was a bit of a mission. Probably took us over an hour to do that because we had to remove this support bracket from the throttle bodies, and it was just in a really tricky spot to do. We've mounted him all up now anyway, so that's all good. Back into the throttle housing, so I've got a throttle. Next up will be the throttle position sensor. I've probably got to go back through my notes, or at least the old photos, so I can try and figure out which way we mounted this guy on, because there's just a couple of slots in the throttle bodies, which are in the throttle shaft there, which need to align the correct way. And that's what we're up to now. It's all not too bad. It's mainly this top outlet, which is up near the radiator cap. It's quite badly pitted, so that's what I'm going to fill up with a DevCon and then sand it back. This guy here has a few marks as well. We'll put some on that too. Here's the DevCon that we used. We mixed up a small brew, put it onto the radiator, and when that dries, we'll give it a sand back, and it should be a lot better than what it was. In last week's video, we were trying to fit this silicone hose on, and Jed and myself weren't able to push that hose over that spigot up the top. What we're going to do now is remove it from the engine and try and fit it on the bench where it's a lot easier. We'll be able to push a bit harder, plus I'll get Kane onto it. He's a big muscly fella. I reckon he'll get it on for me. The blue Samco hoses look unreal. We've got them all sorted out, fitted them up under the turbo manifold, which that was very tricky to do, but we got there. What else we got up to? We've got the DevCon drying, so tomorrow that can be sanded back and the radiator can be installed. The throttle position sensor, I found the old photos of how I unbolted it last time because I wasn't sure. So that's all been sorted. Well, that's it for today, so we'll have another crack tomorrow. So we're back at the shop. Kane's just heating up the DevCon to help it cure a bit faster. And later on today, we'll sand it back. And with a bit of luck, it would have filled in those holes that we had. So Kane has been hard at it. It's all looking pretty good compared to what it was. He's sanded back the DevCon. And it's filled in all those corroded holes. We'll give it a blowdown and we'll be able to fit it back up onto the bike. Good job, Kano. So we've ripped home. We're going to put the radiator back into the bike. It looks much better than what it did before. So the Samco hose kit's all fully fitted. The radiator's mounted. I had to remove and remount the catch can. It was a bit too tight to this sender unit just here. What else have we got? So fresh thermostat, new radiator cap on order. All the hoses are new. We're going to continue to use this hose here. It's a bit more heat proof than the silicone or even the stock rubber stuff. So because it's wrapped around the turbo, we're going to still run that. But that came out really good. We want to try and fit the dump pipe. Goes up to the turbocharger, runs under the bike, and then picks up on this bolt just here that supports it. The bolt there is too short, so we need to replace that with a longer one. So we're going to lift the back of the bike up. We've got a bit of round pipe here to take the weight of it while we play around. But once that's done, we'll have our dump pipe on and we can put the muffler bracket and muffler on. We partially tapped out the bolt, so now what we need to do is to get the insert that I had made and take that outer flange off it, because then it's just a bush and the exhaust or the dump pipe bracket can come up hard against the frame at the front of the rocker arm there. We lifted the suspension. We're able to swap the bolt out, so now it's longer and our dump pipe can be fitted and bolted up to that guy there. Well, it looks like we're not going to be able to fit the exhaust system this week. Basically, I can't find my high temp silicone sealant to glue the dump pipe up onto the turbo. I've got the bracket all mounted to support the rear of it, fresh bolts ready to go, but no sealant, we just can't do it. Also today I've ordered a set of custom brake lines from Hell Brake Lines. They're bright blue, they're to suit a 1098 Ducati, so I doubt anyone else on the planet's put blue brake lines on the Ducati. We've got also a custom clutch line being made, also in blue, a little bit longer to suit the Brembo clutch master cylinder, and down to the standard slave cylinder off the Quacker. And then we've got the rear in blue again to suit the ZX7 caliper and the ZXR master cylinder. Well, that's it from me this week. Thanks heaps. Leave a comment, tell me what you reckon, and I'll catch you next week.